I've been quite happy with the results, and I think that I achieved a better HDR outcome from them than when I was using previous HDR monitors to grade my work.
Welcome to the ProArt Master Talk. Hi, I'm Blake Jones, and today we have the honor to have Vincent from HDTVTest here to give us his perspective about the ProArt PA32UCG. Hi, Vincent.
Hi everyone. I'm Vincent from HDTVTest. The ASUS PA32UCG. This is not meant for consumption as such, and it is more meant for content creation. And I think that an HDR monitor is really important for the content creation process, especially in the HDR space. Having a good grading monitor, having a monitor or a display that you have confidence in with regards to the final output is extremely important, and accurate colors, high peak brightness for the maximum flexibility are things that I actually look for in an HDR monitor. I tested the FRL, and indeed, the FRL on this ASUS PA32UCG on its HDMI 1 port, and its HDMI 1 port is the 2.1 port. I measured an FRL of 48 gigabits per second, basically 12 gigs at 4 lanes, which is fantastic. And also, I think, I ran a resolution chart on the display, and it perfectly resolved 4K 120 hertz, single pixel lines without any problem whatsoever. I like its brightness. I think, the brightness that ASUS has quoted is up to 1600 nits peak and 1000 nits full screen. Personally, I've measured up to 1800 nits on this particular review sample that I have here, and it is really bright, and it gives me that sort of emotional impact that SDR just cannot deliver. The extra brightness headroom that 1600 nits or 1800 nits allows you to do is to actually, you can grade the base APL or the base overall brightness at the same level as SDR, but you can actually let the specular highlights, let the bright objects pop in a way that SDR cannot achieve. Let's say on the ProArt UCG, then maybe you can grade the sun at maybe 1800 nits and then the cloud at 1200 nits, and then it gives more separation, more range for the image to be expressed, for the specular highlight detail, for the highlight detail to be expressed in a clearer manner that is not subject to compression, that is not subject to the really flat look that SDR has constrained us to. So that is from the brightness side of things. I also like the DCI P3 and also the Rec2020 color gamut coverage. This is equipped with a quantum dot enhancement film. So from the ASUS website, I think their specification, they actually quoted a figure of 85% Rec2020. Personally, using my meters, I've measured 86% Rec2020, which is not too different from the figure quoted by ASUS themselves. And with a bigger color space, again, it's all about the canvas. When you're content creating, you don't want anything to limit your canvas. And with the color space, if you have a bigger color space, you can paint more vivid colors, more true to real life, rather than being constrained to a smaller color space. And I think that with the brightness and also with the 86% or 85% Rec2020 color space gamut, content creators can have confidence in their flexibility and in their sort of unrestricted canvas to paint their masterpiece. But to sum it up, I think the phrase I'm looking for is actually an unrestricted canvas. So when you want to create your content, you want as big a canvas as possible. You don't want to be restricted or be capped, in your abilities to paint, let's say, an object in a higher peak brightness, or to paint a color in a certain hue, in a certain saturation. You don't want to be restricted in your color space and in your peak brightness capabilities of your grading monitor. And I think that with 1600 nits peak, with 1000 nits full screen, which means that it is not going to dim down when you display a lot of white objects on screen. The Rec2020 color gamut of coverage of 86% or 85% as quoted by ASUS, is going to be an important part of it as well. I think those are the key for me. I mean, unrestricted canvas. And I think, if you want to talk about unrestricted from the refresh rate side of things, 120 hertz, is clearly less restrictive than 60 hertz. in the sense of trying to use the ASUS, I've been really quite happy with the results that I've achieved. And I think over the past few weeks, I've been doing a number of high-profile HDR videos for some of the really important TVs that I review, and I've been quite happy with the results. And I think that I achieved a better HDR outcome from them than when I was using previous HDR monitors to grade my work.